you just notice my title?
Uh-huh.
The Queen of the Queen of pissing Chelsea off. Actually, hey, everybody, listeners, not Chelsea. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to put we do a video recording of these. One day our goal is to be able to figure out how to put them on YouTube and stuff so we can have visuals and stuff. We're not there yet. But we get to do, because we do them like basically through Skype, we have our name and then a title. And I was talking to Patrick about what kind of titles that I would like to give myself. Because in our last episode it was you were this bitch and I was bad
No,
bitch, right?
I think I was that bitch because I had I took a DNA test, turns out.
That bitch. Yeah. Yep. Yep. You were that bitch. And I just was
Bad
bad
bitch.
bitch. And now Chelsea is bad bitch because she stole mine. And mine is the Queen of pissing Chelsea off. So if you are on any of our socials, Instagram is Mom Needs a Minute Podcast. Facebook is it the
I think
same?
it's
Is
the
it
same.
Mom Needs a Minute
I'm
Podcast? Please,
I'm trying to keep them all
the same. Yeah. Please let me know what kinds of names I need to give myself in order to record these things. Because it's kind of fun to just make Chelsea's head explode when she sees them. So I need help brainstorming, and I need all of your help.
Okay.
Okay. Listen, I asked for help before you did, so.
I don't need help. I mean, I do need help, but not with that. Damn it.
Oh my god. Whatever.
Hey, I am Chelsea.
And I am Emily, and this is Mom Needs a Minute. This is Mom Needs a Minute. Chelsea, why do you need a minute today or this week?
I have to take my fucking retainer out to eat. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So that there's
Are you getting a new one? I forgot. Are you getting a new one?
no, they just put the tooth back on my other one.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
when they made it, when I broke the last one and they made a new one,
Mm-hmm.
they they made it super thin.
Okay.
So I knew it was gonna break because it was already chipping off. But this time it's thicker, so I can't chew. I can't chew with it in.
That's
Yeah.
annoying.
But honestly, at this point, I've
That's
had it
annoying.
since I was 18. I don't even care anymore.
Like, I know it's there because I know which tooth it is, like with you. If I didn't know, I would never notice. Even if you were eating, like, even if we were out to dinner or something, I would never notice. I would have no idea. So,
Yeah. I don't really I've given up on caring because it's such a common thing now.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But going from, say, just first having it now, like at 18, your feelings about it at 18 would be very different about having it, 13 years down the line. So, at whatever feelings you were feeling at 18, feeling weird or feeling some type of way
Yeah.
about it or whatever, that's valid. You're not going to, I don't think that you would offend anybody by saying, this is how I felt. And if you also have it, it's normal to feel
Yeah.
that way.
Well,
But
yeah.
eventually it does get to the point where it's just part of you, who you are. And it's like something that you kind of just grow it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like when you get glasses and you feel weird wearing them to school for the very first time when you're 10, right? But by the time you're 30, you're like, well, if I get out of bed without these on, I will crash into my wall. So, you know what I mean? How it's kind of like you feel weird at first. And so I don't think that if you were to say anything about how you felt right off the bat versus how you're feeling now, I don't think that that would be offensive to anybody.
I mean, like when I was younger, obviously didn't want anybody to be like mean, essentially. But now I don't. I mean, I don't care, and also I know
Yeah,
that I could probably actually get it fixed. I just I
yeah.
have the mindset of what happens if I do it and then like Nolan needs something that's major, and then I'd be sitting there guilty as fuck because I fixed my tooth, you know?
I get that, but I do think that your desires are just as important, right? Like you're allowed to choose yourself in certain situations, and Nolan is fine. Nolan is a happy, healthy child. And if he needs something, you're gonna figure it out. You've been figuring it out for him for the last 7
That's
years.
true. No, I just it's right now it's like with summer childcare and stuff, I want to make sure that I can once he's done with that and can stay home by himself, then I'll yeah,
Makes
I
sense,
need to
yeah,
make sure.
once he's a
Yeah,
little bit
it's right
older.
now it's just making sure I do not think I have to worry about paying for sports with him. So that's good. Well, however, I think
Oh
he's gonna
god.
be 100% into like music stuff, so that might get a little rocky.
I don't know, I think we paid, um, like, maybe $30 to rent Bentley's trumpet, and we get it for the he gets it for the full year, though. Like, we obviously have to fill out a thing that says if he ruins it or something, then we pay for the whole thing, but
Yeah,
I think it's, like, only $30 to do it for the whole year, so it's, like, not nearly as, time consuming or whatever as, like, a sport where you have to buy shoes and like, gear and stuff like that. Or not time consuming, I mean, like, not, like, financially consuming.
yeah. And that I mean, I asked him the other day if he wanted to do piano because I was like, okay, so if you start doing piano now, by the time you actually get to like middle school and start doing instruments,
Mhm.
you can basically
You
play
could do the
anything.
drums. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
and
Bentley's doing piano.
that's what I told him, and he goes, "No, I just want to sing." And I'm like, he goes, can I have singing lessons?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Chelsea, I'm dying. Chelsea, I'm dying. I'm on my deathbed. Okay. As you know, Chelsea, as you know, I haven't mentioned it, I don't think yet. I have the Mirena birth control, right?
yep,
My Pat and I, like my husband and I, we don't want any more babies. We are taking every single precaution to make sure that that stays that way, right? We stay as a family of 4. Okay. Um so I have my Mirena like implant. So because of that, I do not get my period like at all. However, which is fucking lovely. If if I say if that's a thing for you, check into Mirena. I know that when I first got it, they were saying that it was only for like, or that they only really recommended it for people who had already have birth because or given birth because of the way that your like cervix and everything is kind of shaped after that, right? I don't know. I don't know. That's what I was told. So, if it is an option, I have not had my period in years. Occasionally, I do get some spotting or something like that, but I don't get my period regularly. Okay. I love it. It's incredible. However, today, my body decided we're going to riot. Okay. My alarm goes off at 6:30 and normally I'm like able to kind of wake myself up and like start to like wake up and start getting out of bed, right? Or start thinking about getting out of bed. No, no, no. I shut it down. I shut it off and I went, meh. And then it goes off at like 6:45 and I went, nah. And then it goes off at 7 and I went, "No, I cannot get myself to fucking wake up." Right? It's like 7:10. Maverick walks into my room looking for a t-shirt and he's in his Ninja Turtle jammies still cuz apparently it was jammy day today.
it was, yes,
And I was like, "What are you doing? You're still in pajamas." Blah blah, whatever. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, dad, I'm looking for a shirt." And I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" And I was like, oh my God, I have to get out of bed now. Right. And so then I take Bentley into school later than Maverick goes to school because it's Wednesday. And yep, and then I run to Walmart and I grab the t-shirts because they're doing tie-dyeing for Maverick school, and that's what he was looking for this morning. So I go to Walmart to grab him a t-shirt.
He was gonna tie dye it. He was gonna tie dye just a random T-shirt he found.
Probably. It really seems that way. Yeah. So I went to Walmart and I found a t-shirt for him to tie-dye, and I got a couple other things, just like snacks for the boys for the summer. And then, listen, I'm gonna have to stock up, and if I can grab things one or two at a time, I'm gonna do that, okay? And stock up on boxes of hugs, whatever, right? And so I get to work a lot earlier than I normally do, and so I get there, and it's like normally I get to work at like 11, okay, because I'm fucking lazy, and my job is incredible, and they don't care when I come in as long as I get my job done.
Yeah.
So I show up at like 9:45, okay? And I am struggling to wake myself back up. Like I just cannot stay awake. I can't stay awake. I can't stay awake. I'm starting to get those headaches, and I always get them behind my eye when I have my period. Before I had my Mirena, my headaches would always start right behind my eye. And then my uterus decided to go, hey, hello, I still exist. I know you haven't had to deal with me for a while, but I'm still here. And my entire body, yeah, my entire body just went, hey, go fuck yourself. And I have felt like trash all day. Chelsea, I almost wanted, like, okay, I bought these really cute, like, it's just like the cheapest bullshit from Walmart. So they're not fancy or anything, but it's like a little vine leaf decor thing with like lights intertwined with it. So it's like Christmas lights basically, but it has like vines, like it's like leafy and it's cute and it's
Yes.
green and I like it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I went out to the shop to find AA batteries, right? It needed AA batteries because it's like just a little battery powered thing.
Yeah. It has that little box. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went out to the shop because I was like, I know I've seen battery boxes out there, because I know that they were like on the one shelf, like right next to the chickens. So every time I go to check on the chickens, they're on the shelf. Listen, we just moved. Don't make that face. We just moved. Shit is just where it is right now. Okay.
I was gonna say I'm trying to figure out why the hell you have batteries in the fucking shop.
That's where all Patrick's stuff is. So the shop makes sense, I guess, to me. They weren't in my junk drawer. So I don't know. I knew where they were in my old house. I don't know where they are now. So
That's exactly where my head went, and I was like, why the fuck are they not in the junk drawer, you weirdo? I don't live there. I don't care.
They were so there were I remember I knew there were a couple boxes of like batteries next to like my chicks. Okay, so I walk out to the chicks, check on them, whatever, find the battery box, and in my head out in the shop I went, "Oh, AAA. Fabulous. Box full of AAAs, grab some, bring them back in." And I brought them back in and I almost burst into tears because I was so distraught that I brought in AAAs instead of AA's and I could not find AA's anywhere. And when I almost cried because of the fact that I had AAA's and not AA's and I couldn't turn my leaves on, I went, okay, something is, my hormones are having a day.
That shit is the fucking worst. I
Okay,
swear to God.
this is going to be Chelsea, this is going to be the nerdiest thing I've ever said to you in my life.
I'm
Are you
not sure
ready?
about that, but okay.
Are you ready?
Sure. Yep.
So I was you're not sure about it. So I opened my Sims game. Okay. And my sim just kept showering and showering and showering and the like bar wasn't like going up. So it just looked like they kept getting dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. And so after they had showered 3 different times, Chelsea, I realized instead of hygiene, it said hunger. And my sim was hungry, but I was just making them shower and shower and shower because I was like, they're not getting clean. And I shed tears. I cried. I shed tears when I realized that I had fucked it up and it said hunger instead of hygiene. And I cried, Chelsea. I cried. And I went, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Oh God. I cried. I'm not kidding. You can ask Pat. I cried when I was telling him because I was like, why is this shower not working? Like, why is this not working?
I honestly think it's
It's so
that part
dumb.
of having your period that
It's
sucks
so
worse than the other
dumb.
part. Literally anything. Like, Michael said something about Nolan, and it was just something
Yeah.
completely
And
stupid
I
and
was like
true,
telling
and I
Patrick, I
just
was like,
like,
I think my game is bug. I think my game is broken.
no.
Like, oh my God, I don't want to factory reset it again because I don't want to lose all my families again. And then I'm like, sobbing. Like, I don't know. And I was like sobbing because I was like, she's just not
What a
getting,
tragedy.
nothing's working. And I was like, oh my God, she's just hungry. She's not dirty. Oh my God. Oh my God, I've made her take like 4 showers and I didn't let her eat. I was I was
You're like,
sobbing
dirty
because
bitch,
of
you
this
get in the
stupid shit.
shower.
So, while I don't necessarily normally get my period because of my birth control, thank God, because oh my God, if I had to do this every month, I couldn't handle it. If I had to do this, I can't handle this.
Really?
I cried over
Really?
my Sims being hungry. And my bat I found AAA batteries
My
instead of double A.
depression
I
meds
can't
can't
handle
keep
this,
up.
okay? Thank God my birth control stopped a lot of this. I was sobbing, okay? Because I was like, I'm so dumb because I can't read. And he's like, I think maybe you need to just he's like, I think maybe you need to go take a shower and like just breathe for a minute. And I was like, oh. I was like, I'm fine. He's like, I think you need to shower. And I was like, why do you love me? And I'm just like, I was like, good God. So it's been a day. And so just the thought, just bursting into tears is within the realm of possibility because wow, she came with a vengeance today. Hmm.
Feel that, man. Feel it.
Oh God, it's fucking heinous. I'm so glad I don't do this every month because Jesus Lord. I don't think I would still be married. Actually, I would be because my husband is an actual saint, but he would also probably be on he would be on medications also. Okay.
How do you think Michael feels with me?
You know, Patrick has had a little more experience than Michael in that regard. Actually, oh, another reason is because let's see, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Patrick and I have been married for 11 years.
Holy shit!
I know. 11 years.
What are you guys gonna do?
Clean the garage probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
We want to get the garage cleaned out so that I can get my Jeep in the
Good.
garage now. And then I want my dive bar side set up. So, start planning stickers. We should make stickers for our podcast. And then we can put one of our stickers on my dive bar wall. And actually, anybody that listeners, send me stickers and I will put them on my dive bar wall. Maybe we should get like a P.O. box or something. I'm not giving out my home address. Okay. So we've been talking for like 20 minutes. Are you ready to hear are you ready to hear a story?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So this story is just one that I thought was interesting. It's kind of more folklore weird. It's not really true crimey. It's not really haunted. It's just a weird story that I've heard about, or I heard about a long time ago. I don't even remember where I heard it, but I thought it was so weird that I've thought, you know, that TikTok sound where it's like this lives rent or your Roman Empire, right? What's your Roman Empire, right?
No.
Have you never heard that?
Nope.
Oh, it's like if you ask a dude, it's like the Roman Empire. How many times a day they think about that.
The Roman
It's been a
Empire?
minute. Okay, first of all, it's interesting as hell. Yes. Second of all, it's a whole thing on TikTok, I swear to God. At least it is on my algorithm. So,
I was gonna say, I think we're on two different sides of the TikTok again.
it's probably because I don't watch TikToks being sent to me because I'm
Bitch.
lazy. I'm late, dude. I'm so fucking lazy. Anyways, okay. Okay, so I've heard this story. It's been a while, but I think about this story
Oh,
so often.
that has
Like more often than I need to have thought about this, okay?
oh God. Man, the amount of shit you think about.
Like what? I have ADHD and I hyperfixate like a motherfucker.
I have ADD.
I can think about 400 things all at once
I can
and
too.
focus on every single one of them
I
all at the same time.
yeah, I can't do that.
Oh, I can focus on every single one of them. It's like when I'm researching these stories, right? So I'm like reading or watching like a YouTube video, and then I'm listening to a different podcast about a different topic, and then I can watch like Bob's Burgers or something on the TV, and I can focus on every single one of them. And Patrick's like, "You're a fucking nightmare," and I was like, "It's a superpower, though."
I don't think I could do that, but when I'm at work, I can definitely like listen to podcasts and do my work. But there's no way I could write a whole ass story. Mm-mm. My dumb.
No, I can do it all. I can do, like I said, if I had Bob's Burgers over here, I'm talking to you right now, and then I was like trying to say like research, like I'm over here like reading over here, something. I can do all three of them all at once and keep all of them
No.
separate.
I'm one of those fucking poor souls that has like that brain where it's like, oh, I need to go fold the laundry. Oh shit, I also need to go feed the cats. Oh, and the litter
Oh, I
boxes.
mean, I do that too. Oh,
And
I mean, I definitely do that too.
then I completely forget about the first thing.
Yeah. No, I absolutely
Or
do that too.
lately it's been like I will think of something, but then I'm like, then I go on to something else and think about it. Then I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking about before that?
Oh, no, I absolutely do that too. I'm just saying. I'm able to like, but then hyperfixate too. So, this story is one that I have always been like obsessed with, okay? Because it's like the first time I heard it, I was like, this isn't real, right? But then I had heard about it another time and I was like, this is so weird. Okay. So it is called The Green Children of Woolpit. So I know you've in the past asked me to do a more recent story. This is the opposite of a recent. This is ancient. Okay.
Yeah, you're not doing very good at what I've requested. So if anybody has anything to request, I don't suggest sending it to Emily because she will not do it.
The one that I am currently working on is from the one that I'm currently working on is from the 90s.
I have one that I was gonna send you and I
So
forgot, but
please do. Okay. Anyways, um, mess if you have an idea, message our Instagram, and Chelsea will make sure that she relays the message to me because I don't actually think I have access to it. Anyways, so one day,
even if you did, you wouldn't go on there.
you're not wrong. One day during the reign of either King Stephen, who ruled from 1135 to 1154, or King Henry II, who ruled from 1154 to 1189. Okay, so we're like way back in the 1100s. This is one of the most densely populated areas of England at the time. A few farmers were working in the ancient wool. It's called Woolpit. Okay, so you know how like we're the USA, and then we have the state, and then the county, and then the city, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so England, Suffolk, England, I believe is either the state or the county, and then Woolpit is the village within Suffolk. Um, so these farmers are working out in their fields and during harvest. Okay, so they're harvesting all their crops, getting it ready for winter and all that stuff, right? And suddenly, two children just wander out of the like trees near their field, and they're lost, they're disoriented, they're confused, they're scared, like they're just small children. And I couldn't find an exact age on them, but based on kind of what I've read, I'm thinking the girl there's a girl and a boy, and I'm thinking in my head the girl is maybe closer to 10 and the boy is maybe closer to 6 or 7, but there's no exact age. So these farmers are like, where the fuck did these children come from, right? And they think that they're siblings. So they're found crawling out of one of the pits that had been dug with the purpose of catching wolves. So so Woolpit is the like early English like wolf pit, as what we would know now, right? We would hear it said wolf pit with the F, but Woolpit was what, in the 1100s it was, okay? So these kids had been seen crawling out of one of these pits because it was like, oh God, what is that movie where you dig the hole and then you put like the leaves on top of it and something falls into it?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what movie it is because that's like a trap.
It's like a Disney movie or something, right?
Shoot, yes.
No.
It's not, I don't think,
But you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, yes. But I don't think it's a
Either way.
Disney movie. Keep going.
Either way, that's what they have. Okay, so they've dug these wolf pits that are meant to trap them. They're big holes, and these kids are crawling out of them, which is fucking
Yeah,
horrific to
that's
me.
weird.
I don't want kids crawling at all ever. Um then so the farmers and the other villagers are like trying to help these kids cuz they're like, where the hell did these kids come from, like whatever. And like it's a very small village, and so all of the people are like, well, there's these random children, we need to help them, right? um Once the villagers and the farmers actually got near these children, they noticed that they spoke, quote, random gibberish. They were wearing garments of, quote, strange color and unknown materials. They were acting very scared and nervous, and most shockingly, their skin was solid green.
Mm. Like fucking Shrek. It's like Shrek's little babies just like, ew,
Yeah,
what the
like green,
fuck?
green, like your green beans. Yeah, crawling out of a wolf pit. Yeah. So, yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I understand if, I know like in that part of Europe, like there's a lot of countries that speak a lot of different languages really close together right there. And so it's not like, oh, like here, if they're speaking a language that I don't understand, it's likely just
Yeah.
Spanish, you know. But like there, it's like how many dialects, how many different languages, how many, whatever, right? So, and especially it's in the 1100s. So, and they're green, and they're bright green. They're green, right? So, priest Ralph of Coggeshall wrote that these kids were taken to the home of Sir Richard de Calne. Calne, I think is how it said. So while they were there, Richard would consistently offer the children something to eat and like try to comfort, and in all respects was like really trying to like care for these children. Like, can I give you something to eat? Can I give you, a blanket? Can I give you, like care for them to the best of his abilities? And just really ultimately get to know them in hopes of returning them to their home. But the children would not eat anything from DeCalne or any other villager for months. They wouldn't take anything from them. They were like, nah, we're not interested. And the only way that they got these children to eat anything was the children had found like a patch of green beans growing. Yeah, which is why I thought your green beans were funny.
Who was gonna be an asshole and say, did they try feeding them green beans?
The only thing that these kids would eat, so they were at Richard DeCalne's home for several days, and he and his family, I'm sure, were trying to like make them comfortable, make them situate, like try to get to know them to get them home. And they wouldn't eat anything that he had given them. And then all of a sudden, they find this random patch of like green beans, and they're like
Mm-hmm.
picking them raw out of the garden or whatever and eating those. And they won't eat anything else except these green beans, okay?
Heck yeah.
Like for months, okay? They're eating only green beans for months.
Good diet plan.
It's a really unhealthy diet plan.
Oh, there's that. Yeah.
You need more vitamins and
Maybe
nutrients.
that's why they're
So
green.
eventually, I don't. I have some potential reasons as to why they might be green.
Well, okay. Well, we'll get there and I'll say what I was gonna say.
Okie doke. So
I also kind of have to pee again.
we just peed. We just had a pee break.
An hour ago. I'm like a child.
Okay, pause.
Yeah. Green beans, green beans.
Go fuck yourself. Hey, let me tell you about my best friend. Loser. So, after the green beans, eventually the children. No, they're not. It's definitely peas.
Green beans are the best.
You're incorrect. It's peas. No,
Green
it's
bean.
peas. Peas are superior to green
Yeah,
beans
if they're raw.
anytime. Yes. Unless green bean casserole comes into the picture.
No. Uh-uh. I can't. Nope. I love myself a solid can of green beans, but not green bean casserole. I can't.
There's something there's something wrong with you.
I think it's the weird noodly
You're
thing.
mentally ill.
It's the noodly things. I don't like them.
They're onions. They're those crispy
I don't like
onions.
them.
I can eat like I could take the entire thing and just like dump them into my mouth. They're so good.
Yeah, I believe that.
They're
And
so good. I could eat them like potato
it's
chips.
not even like I don't like, I mean, I will not eat a full onion, like raw, but if it's in my food, I'm fine, but
They're fried. They're like French fries,
no, I
okay?
just don't.
You are incorrect. Eventually, these children began to trust and learn from those around them.
Can we go back and
Unlike me trusting you.
You
Um,
you literally
you called the French fried onions noodles?
they're icky. They're hard. Yeah, I don't.
They're crunchy. You should be sent to jail. Okay, whatever. Um, the children began to trust the people around them now. Okay. And so slowly but surely they do begin adding more and more different kinds of foods into their diets. And they're like trusting that these people aren't, I don't know, gonna poison them or whatever, right? So once their diets begin to kind of round out a little bit, the their skin color begins to go from like the bright, shocking Shrek green that it had been for months and months and months, and turned to more of a quote normal skin tone. But from what I had, like, every all the things that I had read stuff, it doesn't seem like it ever went back to like their original skin tone. It just is less shockingly green. Okay. So now that the children have begun to assimilate into their quote new life, Richard de Calne, who had been taking care of them up until now, and the rest of the village who had also been helping to look after them, all decided that they needed to be baptized because, obviously the 1100s baptism, right? Church, right? Tracks. So it's unclear whether it was shortly before or shortly after, but right around the time of like this planned baptism, the younger boy becomes sick with some sort of unknown illness, and he dies. So yeah, so the young boy dies, and now it's only the little girl left. So it's unknown for sure, but when it comes to this story, many do question whether or not the boy's death was related to the baptism or not. Because, 1100s, church, demons, baptism, all the things, right? So after the boy's passing, the girl did eventually learn English, which is the language that they were speaking, which is extremely helpful at this point, obviously, as you can imagine. Because the villagers were still really trying to figure out like where the fuck these kids came from, right? So they've been there for months now, months now, and the girl is only starting to learn English now. They still don't know where these kids are from. They have no idea, right? So she was able to tell the villagers now where her and her brother had come from, and she said that, quote, "We are inhabitants of the land of Saint Martin, who is regarded with peculiar veneration in the country which gave us birth."
What the fuck's that mean?
Veneration? Don't worry, I have it right here. Quote, the veneration means, and I believe it's like dictionary or merriam-webster.com, Merriam-Webster, whatever. The act of honoring a saint, a person who has been identified as having a high degree of sanctity or holiness. So I think it's like, in my head, it's like St. Patrick's Day or St. Mary or St.
Me!
Okie doke. So you're a loser. So within the girl's new life, she has been considered as very wanton, um, dated but sexually unrestrained, or having many casual sexual relationships, typically used for a woman, and imprudent, not showing care for the consequences of her actions. So basically, they're saying she's a hoe, unfortunately. And I mean, I believe she's still very, very young at this point, like 13.
Oh, no, no.
I think that that's kind of, yeah. So, eventually she did, yeah. I don't think it's good. It's not a badge of honor at this point, I don't think.
I think I think I waited a few years after 13 to do that.
To become a whore. Good for you. eventually she does take on the name Agnes, like as her first name, right? And then she marries an archdeacon named Richard Barr. So now she is known as Agnes Barr. And it is reported that they had at least one child together, although there's really no information um as as far as that goes. Which, like I said, makes sense. 1100s, whatever, right? So during this time, she stayed at during this is weird to me though, because during this time she stays at Richard de Calne's home as their servant, or their maid, even though she's married to an archdeacon, right? So it's like, what? Why is she feeling like she needs to be a servant while she's married to like a higher member of the church? You know what I mean?
Well, I have my theories.
I'd be interested to know your theory because I don't actually have an answer for this, so I just want to know your theory.
Size matters.
So you think little Richard Barr here is a little carrot wiener, little baby carrot? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that look. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
really.
yeah. But she loves him, but not the weenie.
And then Richard de Calne has like the actual full size carrot.
He's got like that eggplant.
He's the reason we use that emoji.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
oh
my
god.
theory.
Imagine being from the 1100s and hearing somebody talk about your wiener like that in 2024. That man's got an
Like
eggplant.
women, not men.
All right. I would be proud of myself, to be honest with you. Solid. Baby carrot. Oh. Oh. And I want to make it very clear that the next sentence that I read, I know exactly where your brain is going to go. Because
Oh
mine went
fuck.
there too. And I struggled. Okay. Over the years, the villagers,
Oh god.
including Richard de Calne, still had questions like, where did they come from?
Where'd they go? Where'd they come from? Where'd they go? Cotton Eye Joe!
Thank you. And honestly,
Wait, hold on. Is that where your brain
uh-huh. Yeah, I typed like, where
went?
did
Look
they
up.
come from? Where did they go? Where did they come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Ah! Yeah, no, I immediately went. I typed, where did they come from? And my brain went, where'd they go? So dumb. Um, so honestly, everybody here at this point is just more concerned about like, why the fuck is their skin green? Or
Too many
was
green
it
beans,
green? Like,
bitches.
yeah, why? But months of this though, right? So Agnes at this point now, her name is Agnes now, and that's what I'll be calling her. Um, she's talking more and more about like her and her brother's life and where they had come from, and and she's just telling more parts of their story, right? So according to her, in St. Martin's Land, which to my I don't think it exists. I don't think it exists, especially at
Like
this like
Martin's
it's
land.
well, okay, but I think that it was maybe differently named or something, right? The sun, quote, or according to her, the sun never really shone. It was always twilight and everything was a lush, vibrant green. Quote, we are ignorant of how we arrived here. When we were feeding our father's flock in the fields, we heard a great sound, such as we are now accustomed to here at St. Edmund's, which I think is a church or some like an abbey there.
Yeah, it
When the
kind of
bells
sounds
are
like that.
chiming, yeah, St. Edmund's. Yeah, I think it's like a church or an abbey or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Religious.
when the bells are, yeah, So when the bells are chiming, and whilst listening to the sounds in admiration, we became on a sudden as if we were entranced and found ourselves among you in the fields where you were reaping. So she's like, hey, we heard your bells. They were pretty. And we followed the bells and we just ended up in your fields. Right. Um, so she also then told them that their Catholic was also, or their country was also Catholic. And they had churches similar to the ones that they had been seeing in Suffolk, but otherwise it was extremely different to their location in England. Like everything looked different, but they were Catholic and they also had like churches. Which at this point in time, obviously churches are like number one, right? And then, quote, the sun does not rise upon our countrymen. Our land is little cheered by its beams. We are contented with the twilight, which among you precedes the sunrise or follows the sunset. Moreover, a certain luminous country is seen, not far or distant from ours, or divided from it by a very considerable sized river. So now she's saying, no. She's saying, I don't know what happened here. I don't know how we got here, but I still can't tell you where I actually am from. Right? Like, it's great here, but we live in constant nighttime. We live in constant twilight. It's just not like there's no way that she was able to describe it that would help them figure out where she was from. Right? So this story sounds absolute in my head. It sounds like so fucking crazy because it's like imagine being one of those farmers, like, out in your field, you're just harvesting, and then all of a sudden, like, 2 small children crawl out of a pit and are like, "Hey, help us." And then you care for them for years, and then one of them dies, and the other one still can't tell you
Yeah.
where they're from,
Hmm.
right?
Fucking green though. I mean, like,
It sounds weird to me, right? And they're green, like Shrek green, as far as I could tell. Yeah, they're like
that would
Shrek
be like
green.
my main concern would be the greenness. And then we go to where the fuck did you come from? Where'd you
Yeah,
go? Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
yeah, nothing good is
Um,
happening here. One way or the other. You first of all, they're Shrek green. They can't tell you where they're from, and you now have 2 small lime green children in your
no,
field.
man. Nah.
Like you're not like nothing good is happening here, right? Yeah. So it all sounds like like all parts of this sound just outrageous, right? The number of times that I had seen that this had been like republished and it was like, oh, well, it could have been like based on this kind of folklore, or it could have been probably, but it's probably not. Like, it all sounded like it was like everything was trying to come up with like a reason for it, right? Like Snow White, oh, don't go into the woods by yourself, or, don't go into a house with 7 men that you don't know. You know what I mean? Where it's like
Yeah.
cautionary tale, whereas this is just like, dude, we don't even know. You know what I mean? So, um, I don't know. So there are a lot of arguments and thoughts as to like what could be happening with this story, right? Because it is so old. Could it have just been like folklore or like a cautionary tale? Could it have actually happened? It was reported funny because 1100s of it all. Could it be something that we don't know about? Like, so there's a lot of different kind of questions about this, but it does still seem to be, as far as I can tell, a pretty common story that is like talked about today, right? So it could be like a folktale, like uh, The gingerbread man. I don't know. Folklore. Fuck. Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel. Folklore. Um, it could be real and it could be exaggerated because of the 1100s of it all. And it's like a really long-term game of phone, like telephone, I suppose, where it's like changed over the years. It could, so there's a lot of reasons, but I have examples, okay? So, a mid a medieval historian named Gerald of Wales cites a story that was common at the time about a boy who was commonly truant from school who, quote, encountered two pygmies. I hate it. I hate it.
I don't know what that
Two
means.
pygmies. I would never use language like that in my. I think it means like
Kidding.
little people,
Pygmy?
people that are smaller.
That reminds me of
No, I
like a
think it's
goat.
pygmy. Like pygmy.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, they're
I'm,
smaller
yeah, I'm an idiot.
stature.
Fine.
Okay, you with me now? I, okay. It is a story about a boy who was commonly truant from school who encountered two pygmies who led him through an underground passage into a beautiful land with fields and rivers, but not lit by the full light of the sun. End quote. So in this story, or in this version, I do believe that this story was one of those that parents told their kids to get them to go to school and stuff, right? If this kid is like constantly truant and now all of a sudden he's being bribed underground and led away, right? It would be like, I don't think I can say it too loud, but Santa, right? Because you have to be
Except,
really good
except if
for him to
no.
bring her presents. I can't say it any louder than this.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
So it's like, I think that
I
it's
mean,
along that same
that
kind
was
of
really
fairy
stupid.
tale line, right? I think that this story is along that same fairy tale
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
of, if you're truant, this is going to happen. You have to go to school. Okay. That's the way that I interpreted that like
We should probably come up
option
with
or
a we should come up with a story about what happens if you don't shower your stinky toes.
I think they just fall off then.
Ooh, I like that.
How does that not just occur to your Hold on. What does that say about my brain?
Yeah, I
Uh-oh.
didn't think of that.
Well, they just fall off. Yeah, if you don't wash them, they just fall off. It's like it's like if you yank at your wiener too many times, you're gonna rip it off. You can't tell me you've never told Nolan that to not yank at his wiener anymore
No.
because he's gonna rip it off.
I mean, I think I like maybe
Oh my
jokingly.
god, am I a bad mom?
I mean,
Uh-oh.
I think I jokingly said
Uh-oh.
that, but I wasn't like, dude, you're gonna like actually rip your dick.
Oh, I mean, I don't say it like that.
No,
I
I
just
know,
say,
I know.
if you don't quit playing with it, it's gonna fall off.
I just tell him it's fucking disgusting.
Okay, speaking of that, there was one time where the boys were like, they had sweatpants on and they both put their hands in their pockets and they were like, and I had these sweatpants on. These are my like really, these sweatpants, my rat bastard,
Yep.
like
Mhm.
Jimmy gray ones, my real shitty ones. And I put my hands in my pocket and pushed them to the front and I was like, can you tell that I am touching me in the front? And I just went like, I wasn't doing anything weird, but
Were you
hold on.
though?
I wasn't doing anything. I was, but not in a please don't call. And I was like, can you tell that I am touching, can you tell that I have my hands in my pocket and that I'm touching myself in the front? And they were like, Yeah, that's really weird, Mom. And I was like, wow, I wonder what that's fucking like. You think I can't see you touching your own fucking wiener through your sweatpant pockets? No, you want me. Okay, cool. I'm going to put my hands in my
Mm-hmm.
sweatpant pockets and I'm going to move my hands to the very front of me where your wiener would be. And I'm going to wiggle my fingers so that it's like, oh my God, I can actually see that. Like that. Okay, so yeah, I was doing weird things, but it was like I had a purpose. There was a purpose. I was
My,
stating it really,
uh-huh.
really
Mm-hmm.
poorly.
I just tell Nolan.
I don't
I
know.
tell Nolan it's,
Yeah, but you know what I mean,
yeah,
though.
well, yeah, but yeah. No, I just tell Nolan it's disgusting and that if he, no. Hold on, let's reverse that. I tell Nolan
Well,
it's
you know how many times
disgusting.
I tell the boys, nobody on the planet Earth wants to see you play with your wiener. So
Mm,
I tell the boys that straight to
yeah,
their
we're gonna,
face. Nobody on this planet wants to see you play with your wiener.
not at this age, no.
No! God.
That's like, oh my
When you're
God,
adults,
fucking,
do you. But nobody wants to see you doing that at fucking
no.
Walmart.
God damn it, it was like yesterday. I still get Nolan dressed in the morning because it's fucking faster. The kids,
You're a psycho. No, you're a psycho. Let him do it. You're a
have you,
psycho. Let him
have
do
you
it.
seen the speed of my child?
He hasn't had to actually do it quickly because you do it for him.
Fair enough. That is true. You sound like Michael. Um, anyway,
Wow, it's almost like your best friend and your boyfriend
shut up.
might know a thing or
Shut up.
two. We know a thing
But
or two because we know a thing or
I,
two.
well, anyway, I was dressing him yesterday in the morning. Also, we've been late every morning, so the only way I'm gonna get to work somewhat quick is by fucking dressing him. But anyway, I was dressing him and I looked at him and I was like, what, at what fucking point are you not gonna want mom to see you naked? And he goes, I don't know. And I'm like, good God, help me.
First of all, you want me to walk in there and get him ready to get. I can get him ready and out the door in 5
Oh
minutes, I
no, he
promise.
is ready and out the door in 5 minutes. But it's me that has to do it because he's fucking slow like his dad.
Mm-mm. I will walk in there and I will say, hey, we're leaving in
Mm-mm.
5. You get ready or you go. And he will be ready to
Nah,
go.
this kid in the
Yeah, he will.
this
Yeah, he
this
will.
kid in the fucking morning is a goddamn. Between Michael and Nolan in the
You think
morning,
I'm
I
not.
literally
You think I don't know how to deal with this shit?
fair enough because Maverick
I've known Nolan his entire life. I've known Nolan his
pretty
entire
much, yeah.
life. I can get that kid out the door in 5 minutes if I need to.
Bribery doesn't work anymore. I've tried it.
I don't need to bribe him.
Okay.
It's just threats.
I
It's just
threaten him
threats.
too. It
I think I'm meaner than
yeah,
you.
because
I think I'm
my
scarier.
whole thing is he's my only baby and I just can't get that out of my head.
He's not even my baby, and I'm scaring you. I'm willing to
Yeah,
threaten him. Either
I'll
way.
threaten your kids, except they'll threaten me right back.
Mine is like as big as
No,
you
they're
at this
both
point.
mean to me.
No, they just learned their mother's phenomenal sass, which I'm so
Yeah, and they
proud of.
take it out on me, just like you do. Stop teaching them bad things.
That's not my problem. Anyways,
Yeah, well, that's fair.
so after oh god, now I
Yeah,
lost where we were.
it's fine.
Oh, other people, because I was talking about like where this story may have come from or what may have happened, right? So others who have examined this story have also noticed similarity, like other similarities, because like the first one that I said they encountered a person that led them through underground tunnels into like this beautiful field and blah 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 whatever, right? So, other people who have examined this story have noticed other similarities with other common stories, right? So, they're kind of trying to put them all together. So, the children's green skin was at the time, was a common trope for storytellers to describe, quote, inhabitants of lower worlds who visit mortals and continue to live with them, right? So, I see that as demons, but you know, whatever. And then another thing a lot of people look at is the mention of St. Martin's Land. So this could be indicative of what what created what is now observed as St. Martin's Day. So on November 11th, which I believe is Veterans Day,
It is.
is a feast celebrating the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. And so a lot of these
Oh,
countries, they celebrate St. Martin's Day on that day. And so a lot of people think that this might be that because, like, if they're saying, like, they were from St. Martin and they found them during harvest and all of that kind of stuff, they're like, hey, maybe this works. And so it has really, really never been determined, obviously. Burger King. Look at the
God damn.
baby. Look at your baby.
He's not a baby.
He's a baby.
He's he's Michael's cat. Oh wait,
He's a
wait.
baby.
He is a fucking baby. You're a baby. Yes, but
You gotta give him lots of. You gotta
Oh, I kissed
give
him,
him
but he
lots of
won't.
switches.
Oh, he won't go anywhere now. Fucking cat. He leaks. He like drools out of his mouth. You know,
He leaks.
he leaks. What are you doing, dude? Apparently, I think I told you this. Maybe. You know how like his right eye looks funny. It looks like it has like
Mm-hmm.
a line in it.
Yeah.
It's a
Is he blind?
no. They did like
Oh,
I when I took him to the vet, they just like said it's super unique. He's not blind. It's just it's literally like a I don't know. They had a must I think she said a Maine Coon that came in and it was supposed to be a show
I want a
cat.
Maine Coon.
So do I. Michael
I
said
want a
no.
Maine Coon more than anything I want in my life.
I,
A Maine Coon is the only thing I want in my life.
I want a Maine Coon, but I don't know.
I'm start like we're getting to the point where we can travel more. We're getting to the point where like we have like our farmhouse. We have all of the things. There's nothing I want more in my life than a Maine Coon cat.
I'll let you get the Maine
And
Coon and I will not.
I will. I will. I'll get I, don't tell Pat, but I'm going to get multiple.
I literally have to wait for these four fuckers to like croak.
Yeah, so do I.
No, you don't.
Technically. Technically,
Technically, I don't think we.
according to my husband.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we actually have to wait for that because we could probably bring one home and no one's gonna say anything.
No, my beautiful, wonderful, fantastic husband is one of those men that is just like, okay,
It's like when Michael got home today,
okay.
I was still putting Nolan's bed thing in or like the boards or whatever. Michael walked in the room,
Hmm.
asked what I was fucking doing, and I told him, and he just walks out of the room. He's just so sick of my shit. Baby kitty.
Sounds about right. Okay, Burger King. So, anyways, while it was never discovered the origin of these two children, since the mid 1100s, there's been a lot of speculation as to like what is going on here. Okay, right? Because obviously, you can't just be two children showing up with Shrek green skin in a field. People are gonna have questions. So some people believed that the way that the girl had been describing her quote home was otherworldly. And then this had led a lot a lot of people to believe that this could be where the little green men trope, alien trope, came from.
It's not what
Okay,
not what my head
you didn't
went.
understand my no, you didn't understand my Greys reference, but now you're like little green men.
Wait, what? You're what, Fritz?
The Greys, the aliens, the Greys in the Betty and Barney Hill episode. The Greys that that Betty had described in her dreams. The Greys, where I
Yeah,
said the Greys came from. The Greys.
yeah. But
That's where
what am
that
I
came from.
supposed? Where's my head supposed to go with that?
And this is the little green men because you got way more excited about the little green men
Yeah,
than the
because you
Greys.
pick it off your drink when you drink it, right?
An author in the 1600s claims that the children, quote, fell
Oh,
from heaven, end quote. And then an article published in Analog Magazine in 1996 describes their, quote, home planet as being trapped in a, quote, synchronous orbit around its sun, so only a narrow twilight zone of inhabitation is possible, squished between a boiling hot zone and a frozen tundra zone. So clearly, these kids are aliens. End of story.
well,
Yes.
so we're doing two
End of
different.
story. They're aliens.
We're doing two different alien episodes. I love that for me.
I have other
Queen of
options too.
pissing
I have
Chelsea off has
other
done
options.
it again. Surprise,
Let's
Shorty!
put my crown on.
I know, I
I
was
need
gonna
a
say we should make
crown.
you a crown and then like cricket the words.
Yes. Queen of pissing
And then
Chelsea
and
off.
then I want
Yes,
one
I
that
want
says
it.
that bitch.
Um, I'm so tired. I'm just so tired of her. Get you a crown and my husband a baseball cap. Okay, so I have like an actual I have more reasonable
Okay.
options though. Okay. Can you come up with like maybe a more
For what?
reasonable option? Why they may have
They
been
ate too many
green
green beans.
or why that's the only reason that you think they crawled out of a pit and they are
My
bright
Michael
neon
was in
green.
here and I screamed that and he just fucking left. Just fucking walked out. He's sick of me and my green bean addiction right now, man. No, but shut
I am too.
up. Gas test low internet connection, by the way. You're the gassed bitch. Mm. Um,
It might be more likely that the kids were orphaned during the 1173 Battle of Fornham, as a large number of Flemish mercenaries were killed at that time. Fornham and Woolpit were separated by the River Lark, which could be the river that the girl had been describing between the two villages. And then um, the Thetford Forest is pretty dense, apparently. So if they were a village living within this forest, it could make sense as to why it always seems like twilight there versus like there was any sort of like daytime or nighttime. It like based on how dense that forest was, if there was a whole village in there, right? It's a big forest.
ah, my stupid brain. My stupid brain is just like envisioning. Oh shit, I'm so stupid. Um, like at the beginning of Grinch, the Grinch. Like with
Yeah.
Jim Carrey. Is it Jim Carrey?
Drew
Yeah.
Carey.
Drew Carrey is on
I'm saying that gives the whole story like that. Okay. Nope. Drew Carey.
I
Jim
heard
Carrey. Got
you.
it.
Yeah, it's Jim Carrey. But when he's in like the fucking snowflake, this is what it's reminding me of. Like these kids just came out of like a fucking random forest or a leaf.
That's kind of what it. Yeah. That's kind of what it was giving me too. A person's a person, no matter how small, and it's like Horton Hears a Who style.
Yeah, Nolan loved that
Hmm.
movie.
That's kind of what I'm getting from it too.
Yes.
Yeah. Um. So a likely option was that these children were orphaned during this battle, and their home had been in this forest, and now that they're orphaned, they're kind of lost, and the place where their village was, because of how thick the forest was, it would make sense that it was like kind of like a natural twilight versus like full daytime or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So within this theory, once the children had been orphaned, because of this battle of Fordham, they heard the bells from the churches that they had described earlier, and then had either wandered into one of the many underground mine passages or one of the underground cave systems, which is dangerous as shit either way. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Never ever walk into a cave or a mine where you do not have a clear way to get back out of it because you will get lost to it. PSA. Um, so one of these theories was that they had become disoriented in either one of these mines or caves and then made their way to the village because they just followed the sound of the bells. Right? So they got lost, they got disoriented in these caves or these mines, heard the bells and just followed that sound to try to get themselves out. Right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the theories as to where they may have come from, right? Um I think that with the number of mines and underground cave system, I think that finding a if you get lost in a cave system today with our technology, with our GPS system, if you get lost in a cave system, there's a very good chance that you will die in there, and that's I don't see how in the 1100s that you're going to find the end of it. You know what I mean?
No. Because I feel like now we rely so much on technology. We don't know how to do it without it. You can't do anything without technology. Like, back then, they didn't have anything. So all they had was their like what the- I'm blanking on the word I'm thinking of. Like
Their own
everything
brain.
around them. Yeah, like everything around them and all of that.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
they
get
would have
that
been,
too, but like still caves and mine systems are dangerous as hell. They're like some of the most dangerous places that you can find yourself.
yeah, but I feel like
And
we
they're
are,
children, very small children.
I forgot about that. I was thinking logically. Anyway,
They're
carry
very
on about
small
my green,
children.
carry
So,
on about my green friends.
many the one thing that many cannot wrap their heads around or find like an answer that everybody is comfortable with is why are they green? Okay, so obviously the most logical reason is that they're aliens, right?
Fuck up. No, it's because I ate green beans.
They're aliens.
I want to prove you wrong by literally only eating green beans.
You're gonna hate yourself in 3 days. But okay, go for
Oh,
it.
Michael's gonna hate me,
You're
actually.
gonna get so backed up that your shit is gonna just, or you're gonna be so miserably emptying yourself. It doesn't matter. Okay, so obviously the most logical answer is aliens, right? So there are.
No!
Stop it. This is my
It's
story. If
the
you want to,
villain.
hey, if you want to tell the story, you write the story. But if you don't want to tell the story, you shush and you let me tell it the way I want to tell it.
I can write a story of my life.
Do it, I dare you.
I'm gonna need about 4 days.
Do it, I dare you.
No, I'm
Um,
kidding. I'm kidding.
you want to be nice now?
No, not to you.
So there are two much less interesting answers, in my opinion. Um, the
Nah.
first the first is something called hyperchromatic anemia or chlorosis, which could also be called green sickness. This can happen when a person is severely malnourished and it affects the levels of hemoglobin within your red blood cells. And the hemoglobin is kind of what gives your red blood cells the red color, and that's what gives your skin your color. So if you have less hemoglobin, it's going to be kind of like a bruise where it's more of that blue, purple, green shade versus the reds and stuff. Um, and it can happen, like I said, when somebody is severely malnourished. Um, and sometimes it can give this green tint. Um, and it could explain why once they began to eat a more balanced diet, their skin began to change back, versus just eating like the green beans and whatever closer to normal. However, everything I did read was their skin was never quote normal. Again, like ours, it still always had kind of that like light green tint to it, as far as I could tell. So it was like
I would never
better, but not
assume you would
gone,
leave.
essentially.
You
Yeah,
can't fix that.
because they're aliens. No. Um.
Shut up.
So
Because I ate too many green beans.
So another so another explanation could be that the children had been poisoned with arsenic, and then left in the woods to die. So
No.
so remember the theory was that their parents had been killed in the Battle of Furnham in 1173, right? Theoretically. And that's why they were alone and just wandering, and that's how they came about these farmers, right? Horrible. So I was researching this, and I researched both whether the hypochromatic anemia and arsenic poison could like tint your skin, right? And the anemia certainly can. Whether or not it's going to turn it green, is up in the air. Might get a tinge of green, kind of like a, as far as I could tell, it was like, when like a bruise is healing and it's like that blue green, like yucky, just bruise tint.
I would want to know how long they remember being green, you know? Because
Right. Like if they were used to it or if it was just like a, wow, how'd that, like, weird. Where'd that come from? Yeah. Yeah, I guess I never saw anything about that as far as that went. So outside of the anemia, I saw arsenic poisoning. Um, everything I read said that arsenic can potentially turn your skin green. But it it sounds like arsenic can darken or like hyper or cause hyperpigmentation of your skin, after years and years and years of exposure though, but it's not like if you were it doesn't sound like if you were poisoned and left in the woods to die that it would cause your skin to create that color or become like hyperpigmented like that. So it sounds like it's like a long term, which means that if they had been orphaned in that battle and then poisoned and left in the woods, that's not correct to my knowledge. So, whatever happened to these green children, where they came from, or anything, historian Derek Brewer says, quote, the likely core of the matter is that these very small children herding or following flocks strayed from their forest village, spoke little, and, in quote, modern terms, did not know their home address. They were probably suffering from chlorosis, a deficiency disease, which gives the skin a greenish tint, hence the term green sickness. And with a better diet, it will disappear. So he thinks that this was just a random fluke, and these kids were just malnourished and anemic to the highest extent. And that's that.
I'm still going with green beans.
I like aliens.
Okay, but if you ate a lot of
I,
carrots, you turn orange.
you
You do.
have to eat like you have to eat like
You
your body
do.
weight in carrots
We're gonna we're gonna find out how many carrots.
before you turn orange. It's
Many
like your fucking body weight, Chels.
carrots. Be okay. You need to eat 5 to 12.5 carrots per day for multiple weeks. That's freaking easy. Okay. So now how many, how many green
You're an idiot.
beans before you
Yeah,
turn
you turn green.
green? Okay, I just got recipes.
Recipes
I
for
don't need no
what?
recipes. I just put
Just
mine
eating
in the
green beans?
microwave. Green fucking beans. Anyway, apparently I don't have an answer.
So it's
I don't know. I'm not
I think
settling
it's
for
aliens. I like
aliens. It's
aliens.
not aliens. It's green beans. I I think it's green beans.
Honestly, I don't think it's the arsenic poisoning because as far as I did read, it does seem like that needed to be more long term than just poisoning these children and leaving them in the woods. I do think that the anemia and the malnutrition could definitely be an example or be a very good reason, though. I like
Yeah.
aliens better, but I do think it's probably
As much as
malnutrition and the
yeah,
anemia.
yeah. As much as I love green
Yeah.
beans, I think it might be
We're
that
never
too.
gonna know. Hmm.
However,
Mhm.
is this like
Yeah.
legitimate? Is this story
Yep.
like
Nope.
real? Because the last one
This
you
one is
told
real.
me,
These children were actually found. These children, like everything happened here, whether or not they were aliens, whether or not like the weird like the boy dying because they were like, we're gonna baptize them and the boy dies immediately. Like and they're like, oh my god, he's dying because of the baptism, you know what I mean? Like whether or not any of that is real, I can't guarantee it, but these children were found in this field. Their skin was very green, and they did not speak whatever language that was spoken here, which I believe is some form of like English. And they didn't speak any of that, and they were held here. There's enough around possibilities of where they may have come from, but with their skin being green and then that green tint never really going away, obviously in the 1100s, aliens, right? Or demons.
no,
Um,
no.
no, I know, but
Green beans.
1100s of it all. So, yeah, no, this is an actual real thing. Um, regardless of where they came from or how they turned green is up for debate. But no, this happened,
I honestly
as far as I
think
can tell, at least.
I I think it had to have been a malnourishment.
Yeah, the anemia and stuff.
Yeah, because if it, I mean, he died. The little
It
boy
seems weird.
died.
Yeah, yeah. But it seems weird. Well, I was gonna say it seems weird that it would take months and months and months to fix, but I guess if
Mhm.
you've been so severely malnourished, that wouldn't be surprising if it took you
No,
months.
because
So
you can live.
the
I
anemia, yeah, the anemia would be my best bet.
they had to
But
have
these
been
kids were green, like Shrek green,
they had to have been
as
dehydrated
far as
as
I
well
can
too. So that had to have been something to do with
tell.
it.
Quad.
Because you
Can
can
you imagine?
I don't know how many days you can go without eating, which I'm assuming they were eating, just not enough calories.
They were probably just eating things that they found in the woods,
Yeah. I'm rolling with that, which is
berries and
unfortunate.
stuff.
But they had to have found green
Yeah.
beans.
I mean, they were very, very excited to see Richard DeCalm's green beans in his garden. So,
I'm excited about
yeah.
green beans
So,
and gardens. Yeah.
so what do you think? Do you think it was just the like anemia,
Yeah.
or do you think it was aliens?
Oh, no, it had to have been the most logical explanation, which is not green beans or aliens.
I don't I don't think it was arsenic though, because
No.
as far as I read, it does seem like for it to change your skin tone that much, it had to have been low doses over a long period of time.
Yeah.
So it was like too low to kill you, but it had to have been like long-term exposure. So that doesn't make sense for if the family, like the parents had been killed in this
Mhm.
battle of the war, for them to have been like, "Okay, we're just gonna poison these children,
I
throw them
don't give
out."
a shit.
It feels like no, especially like it feels like that would have been a longer term, like a longer game plan than just dumping in them in the woods and letting them say succumb to the
They don't. No, they
elements.
don't care about kids. Kids, when there's a war going on,
No, and they're certainly not going to keep them for years and years and years and continue to poison them in small
nah, they
doses
don't.
until it like turns them.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nope.
So so that's my story. That's the Green Children of Woolpit, which I think is just a fascinating story because the kids existed. Like this, to the best of my knowledge, this existed. Whether or not the kids were, uh, I don't know, whether or not it played out this exact way. This story exists in to the best of my knowledge. So it's not like the last one where I told you it wasn't real. All right, so I'm Emily, and that's why I needed a minute today. Chels, goodbye.